Hey guys, welcome to Chaos Core Tech. I'm Garrett and today is part 2 of the Master Sword build. Now in case you missed it, last week I made a Master Sword from The Legend of Zelda. I'll put a link up here in the corner, check the little I or down in the description if you're on mobile, so you can get caught up on that. And then this week is part 2 where we do the sheath. Now the print settings and everything are exactly the same as the last video, so I'm going to go ahead and skip those and we'll just get right to the finished product. Okay, so I just got it back from my wife. She finished painting it up, and here it is. Bum, ba-da-bum. Looks freaking awesome. And as you can see, it is actually functional. So the hole goes all the way through, and ideally we'll be able to fit the Master Sword in here. So let's give that a shot. Here I have the Master Sword, and something to call out if you want to do this on your own. Make sure you finish this with something to keep it protected, because if you're going to be sliding it in and out of the sheath a lot, the paint is going to get damaged, so make sure you put something on there to finish it up. Alright, there we go. Fits all the way in, and that looks really freaking nice. Alright, so let's talk briefly about the post-processing that my wife did on this. And pretty typical, but she did actually use a new technique, so let's get into that. So the first step after we assembled this was to get it glued together and fill in all of the seams. So what we did for that was exactly the same as the Master Sword. We used super glue and then that Loctite repair putty to seal it up. Then after you have all that on, it's time to move to the sanding. And my wife actually used a Dremel tool to sand this, but you can sand it by hand, it'll just take longer. And then make sure you pay extra attention to the spots where the Loctite repair putty is, because you'll need a little extra sanding there to make sure that it's all flat and smooth. Then after you're done with that, you're going to want to prime it. And for that you'll just use any plastic priming spray. Apply a few coats of that, letting it dry completely in between. And then after that you're going to want to start painting the sword. My wife started with the blue, and she did that with an airbrush. And she just went over, and since we were going to be going over the gold areas later, she didn't have to be too exact. So just generously coat the areas that will be blue, and then you'll be ready to move into the next step, which is painting the gold. And this is where she did something a little bit new. She actually used a sponge, and it was actually a special sponge that she got from a hobby store that's intended to paint things like this. You can see it in this little video clip. And she just put the gold paint on there and then dabbed it along the gold areas. And that's actually a pretty easy way to get fast coverage of these areas. And if you look, there's actually kind of a really neat texture along with it. So not only does it help hide the print lines, it makes it feel cool and look pretty cool too. And then of course if you're going to be using this a lot, you want to make sure that you put some sort of finish on it. And it's up to you whether you want to do glossy or matte. Just make sure you get some sort of finish on there to protect from scratches and any other damage to the paint job. Alright guys, well there you go. The sheath to go along with the Master Sword. So now you can use your 3D printer to take your cosplay to a new level. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Links to all these files, as always, are down in the description. And I also put the Fusion 360 files down there so you can edit it yourself if you'd like to. And then if you guys are wondering what to watch next, check the little I up in the corner or down in the description if you're on mobile. And then if you thought this was cool, make sure you like and get subscribed if you're not already. And any shares of this video are extremely helpful as well. Well, thanks for joining me guys. I'll see you next time.